okay, let's say you draw the 5th pick in your draft, Scott. You take Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want? Like, who do you think is better for Justin Jefferson? Because for the most part, I think that's what matters with this quarterback situation, right? I mean, we've got Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison. He's in some off-field trouble now. Hey, T.J. Hawkinson. He's again with Jordan Addison. He's in some vehicular issues. T.J. Hawkinson. I don't think he's going to play to start the season. So really, it's just. By the way, that also kind of decreases the potential buoyancy of this ecosystem, which I think is good for a young quarterback, and maybe good for Sam Darnold. But again, put all that aside. Selfishly, you've got a veteran quarterback who has legitimately been one of the worst quarterbacks statistically in the league, being in this environment, or a rookie who wasn't asked to be the leading man in a great film in college. Which of those two guys, I know that's a simplified picture, there's more to pull apart, but which one of those two guys do you want to see if you draft Justin Jefferson in the first round?
Maybe I'm just the last apologist for Darnold, but I think I'd rather see Darnold because I don't think they would spoon feed him as much as they might spoon feed McCarthy right away. Obviously, McCarthy's got a much higher ceiling down the road, but if it's strictly a Justin Jefferson question, yeah, give me Sam. I'm okay with Sam Darnold. Again, O'Connell has done it. Look at the quarterbacks they had last year. After Cousins got hurt, and their passing game was fine. Their receivers still had good stats. Jefferson was really good when he came back. Addison, I know his stats were maybe better than what the tape and the RP charting showed, but I mean, he had a really good fantasy season. T.J. Hawkinson, before he got hurt, was one of the best tight ends. I would not draft Addison or Hawkinson on a bet right now, by the way. And unfortunately with Addison, there's just that knucklehead risk. I don't think Hawkinson's going to play until very deep into the season. It just doesn't make sense to wait around for a guy like that, but yeah, I believe in O'Connell. So I believe in Sam Darnold, at least as a temporary guy. He's not a long-term solution. Nobody expects him to be that. I'm telling you right now, I've seen tomorrow's headlines today. Opening day, Sam Darnold, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Who do the Vikings play in week 1? This is a competitive division too, by the way.
The fun division.
Week 1 is the Giants. I don't know. That's it. I mean, they have a pretty interesting pass rush now with Brian Burns there. Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, and then the 49ers in week 2. The problem I have with the Sam Darnold thing, and I think my answer is JJ McCarthy. I get that, yeah, he's a rookie quarterback. You're probably not going to put as much on his plate. The book on Sam Darnold is the more you put on his plate, like the more you ask him to do, the more steam comes out of his ears. Like the times he's been good in his career, which is not very often, but it was when, like, very beginning of his Panthers run, he had a pretty decent 3-game start because you just like get the ball to Christian McCaffrey, get the ball to DJ Moore, and log out. Don't put too much else on his plate. And then when he was really efficient, right at the end of that Panthers stretch before a horrible final game with Carolina where he was like unplayable against the Saints. But before that, he had like a decent stretch. It was just they were running the ball so much, playing good defense. But at the same time, Scott, I to play devil's advocate to myself, I did watch the Nick Mullins games with Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson was productive. It wasn't good football. Nick Mullins was not good, but that guy was just so willing to say F it and throw. Just, it doesn't matter what the coverage is, doesn't matter where he was in the route. Just we're throwing it to 18. So I can see why Darnold would be beneficial for fantasy, but I can also see he completely pees his pants against the Niners in week 2, and Jefferson has like 2 catches for 18 yards on 10 targets or something like that. So there's no perfect answer, but I think we're in different spots there. I'd rather just see JJ McCarthy earlier.
Does this quarterback room, we had a piece go up on Yahoo on Monday. Who's the number 1 receiver? Lamb's tied to Prescott. Hill is tied to McDaniel and to Tua, and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are linked up together. Does the quarterback room, as it sits right now, does that make you nervous at all to draft Justin Jefferson, who's still, I think, widely accepted as the best receiver in the NFL?
I mean, not where he's going, like 5th overall pick. You're currently in best ball drafts. I don't think there's a better option there. Like, I'm not taking, I think I'm okay with it because I think either of these guys can still make him a productive player. I just think McCarthy is probably better for the offense in the long term, so he's the guy I'd want to see. And yeah, no, I think generally I'm okay with it. I think if you break ties in favor of Chase and Hill and Lamb ahead of Jefferson, I think that's okay.
Right, and I was remiss to not. We talked about quarterbacks coming off injury. I know Chase was your number 1 receiver, and one of these years, Jamar Chase is going to score 22 touchdowns. But I would like to have it. It may have to be word of mouth. It may have to be a team source because I don't know that Joe Burrow is going to do anything other than show up at preseason games and sit and watch them. But man, just please give Joe Burrow 4 healthy months, because I love Joe Burrow, but I just want to see Jamar Chase go to the moon. And he again, a guy who could be on all the magazine covers next year, although he's on some of the magazine covers this year. That's how good Jamar Chase is. He's coming off a okay season, and people still see the potential that he could be the guy who absolutely crushes fantasy.